Okay, hello everyone. So, our today's agenda is uh, we are going to install the Apache server to our test machine, and we will configure it to change its port as well as oh, okay, so my mic is running. So we will change the port of the Apache server, the serving port for the page, as well as the directory of the page. Okay, so this is the question. The question is, we need to first install the Apache server, configure it to run at port 888, and set its web page directory to /web. Okay, so that this is our today's agenda. Okay, so we have our test machine here, server B. So we will install the Apache server here, and we will test if the server is running and the web page is being served from another separate server, which is this server A. So the server will be installed here. So the so the Apache httpd will be installed here, and it will be accessed from this server A. Okay, so okay, fine. So to get an overview of our whole architecture, here's the little diagram we can just look over. So this is our, let's say this is our server A. Okay, so this is our server A. Let's write server A over here. So server A. Okay, so this is our server A 20. Okay, so we have another server which is server B. So let's say this is our server B. Okay, so this is our server B. Write it here, server B. Okay, so this is our server B. Not necessarily the size of the server is so just to, because I'm going to draw a lot of things inside that server B, this is why I just made the rectangle bigger than server A, but it's just, it does not really matter. The size of the servers both are same, so it is just that I'm going to draw various things inside this rectangle. This is why I made it bigger. Okay, so I've got server B here. Let's have another so this is our Apache. So this is, let's say this is the Apache, our Apache server, web server. So this is the Apache web, or httpd, whatever you say. Okay, whatever you call it. So this is our web server, and so the request will come from server A to this Apache server, and the Apache web server resides within the server B server. Okay, so Apache is within the server B, and server A is going to request to access a web page, and Apache should be able to reply with the web page content to server A. But the catch is, we have to keep two things in mind, that our server also have, it has the firewall, as well as it has the SElinux enabled. Okay, so we have two extra things. So we have the, let's make it red. So we have this, and okay, so we have this, and let's call it what it is. So firewall, let's make the font bigger, 20. Okay, so we have the firewall, as well as we have another component called SElinux. Let's make it blue. Okay, so we have SElinux. Okay, so let's call it so this is the text, SElinux. So what these two essentially are doing is that so any request that is coming from outside is being filtered and blocked by the firewall. Any unpermitted requests will not be forwarded inside the server, because the firewall is protecting everything that is coming from outside to get inside the server B. Okay, so firewall is protecting the server B from the outside access. So anything that comes from outside, let's say the request comes from here to there, whoops, let's let make the request yellow, orange. So from here to there, it is getting blocked by firewall. Okay, so you have to give the access to firewall, and after giving the access to firewall, let's say it can get into the firewall. So from firewall, it reaches to the httpd server, meaning Apache server, but to return back, SElinux makes sure that anything that comes out of the server B, so anything that gets out of the server B is properly getting out in a secure way. So nobody is accessing something that it should not access and sending the information back to someone who should not receive the information. So this is the job of the SElinux. So SElinux protects everything from inside the server. Let's say you for example, let's say you have installed some database, but under the hood what the database is doing is that it is searching for all the other sensitive documents of your server, and it is in a secretive way sending it to some malicious group. So SElinux makes sure that nobody is accessing any port or any service or any directory that it does not have permission to access. So to get out of the request, SElinux is blocking Apache from getting out. So you have to give permission to SElinux as well, and after the permission is given, SElinux permits the request to reach to server A. So note that firewall is a stateful system, meaning firewall only blocks firewall blocks the malicious requests from outside to inside, but it remembers that okay, so it allowed the packet to come inside, so the response should be able to get outside. So firewall does not block the returning packet. Okay, so firewall only blocks the incoming packet but not the returning packet, because if it has permission to come inside, that it must also have the permission to get outside as well. So this is what firewall makes sure. So we have to give two permissions, one for SElinux and another one for firewall. Okay, so this is what we're going to do first. So this is our whole process. So first we have to install the httpd server, meaning Apache server. Then we will give the firewall permission, and then we will give the SElinux permission. Okay, so first let's install the firewall. Let's install the httpd service. Okay, so first let's make sure our firewall is running. So systemctl status firewall d. So our firewall is up and running. So how about our SElinux? So SE status. So SElinux is enabled and it is in enforcing. Okay, So let's install the httpd server, meaning Apache server. So dnf install httpd. Okay, so why it will install the httpd server. Okay, there. So let's enable or run the httpd server. So system ctl status httpd. So our server is disabled, so it is not running. So let's run the httpd server. So enable now. So what essentially it will do is that it will start the server, as well as it will make sure that after reboot of the server B OS, the server gets automatically started. So check the status right now. So our server is running. Let's try to ping the server B. So can I ping the server B? Server B. So yeah, I can ping. So can I let's say can I access the server B httpd the web page, the default web page. So let's so first of all, let's what we need to do is let's create a page for ourselves. So the default directory is var. Okay, okay, so the question was, okay, so let's try to first access the page. So curl localhost. Yeah, so the page, a page is getting returned. So our server is up and running. Okay, we are getting reply from the Apache web server. Okay, so sorry, my mic fell off. Okay, so according to our question, so our question was, we should be running the server from /web directory. So let's make sure that we run it from /web directory. So do we have anything called /web? The answer is we don't. So let's make a directory mkdir /web. Whoops, rf /web page. So we have a directory called /web. So cd /web. Here, let's make a page. Okay, so page, let's call it a page.html. So echo hello from server B. Okay, so this is our web page, page.html. So we have this file hello from server B, but how can we make sure that Apache serves this page? So the configuration file for Apache is var server /etc /httpd, and here we have conf directory, and here we have this httpd.conf. okay, so httpd.conf, this is the configuration file for Apache. Get down and change the directory of the page. So the directory of the page is here, DocumentRoot. okay, or you can directly search for DocumentRoot by just typing / then DocumentRoot, and it will take you to DocumentRoot. okay, whoops, whatever. Okay, so let's change it to So a good practice is to make a backup of the configuration file, but I'm not going to do that because, you know, it is just time consuming and it just adds processes. So let's just change our you know, configuration file directly. Okay, so you have to make sure that you make change in two places. So here, so this directory portion as well as the document root portion. Okay, so /web will be our new home directory for or the document root directory for Apache. So /web. So yeah, so just write and quit pwd. So this is the location for the configuration file. It was the location, so /etc/httpd.conf, and here the file was httpd.conf and cat httpd.conf. We have changed the /web. We have changed two lines, so one is at document root and another is at directory. Okay, so if we restart the server, will it serve the page? So can we access the page right now? So curl server b, so server b /page.html. so nothing found. Okay, so let's systemctl restart httpd. So now a new error emerged, which is you do not have permission to access the resource. Okay, so first the error was the requested URL was not found, and then the new error is you don't have permission to access the resource. Why? Well, because our SElinux is preventing the Apache server to access the new /web directory. So we have to give permission to the SElinux that okay, let Apache server use the /web directory. So let's give the permission to SElinux. So to give the permission we have to write SElinux fcontext. Okay, but what permit, which service should, what is the name of the permission? How do we know that? So the default directory for the Apache server was /var/www/httpd. So if we check the label /var/www/http html. Okay, so the label was this is the label, so we have to give the same permission to the /web directory for the exactly same label. So this label we have to give access. Okay, so to give that SElinux fcontext, to list everything we can just type L to list all. Oops, not L, maybe. Let's check the help. Fcontext. Sorry, SElinux. No? So this should be semanage. Fcontext L. It will list all the labels, and we can also find it from there with grep http sys. So these are all labels, so this we have to give permission. Okay, clear it out. So httpd sys content t So semanage fcontext a t, so add, and then httpd, type it out or copy sys content, and then you give the access to the directory. Okay, so what it will do is that it will give all the subdirectories or all the files the same the same level. It will add all the recursively add the level to the files inside the web /web. Sys content, I should have typed t. Okay, so I have just forgot _t. Okay, so and then what we need to do is we need to type restorecon recursive rv/web. Okay, relabeling is done. Now let's check the level. So ls ltz/web. So we have attached this level successfully. Now let's check the with curl. Okay, curl server b page hello from server b. So SElinux permission is given, but we can't really access the page from server A. Okay, we can't really do that. Why? Well, because now we can access the page from inside the server B. Okay, with the curl. So the page is being served, but we cannot access the page outside of the server B, which is from server A. Why? Because the firewall, so the firewall prevents anything that is outside of the server. Okay, server A is the red one is the firewall, so server A is outside of the server B. So firewall is preventing any exchange of packets from server A to server B. So we have to give permission for firewall as well. So firewall-cmd list all. So this will list all the services and the ports that have permission by firewall. So by default we have, let's say, services like SSH. We can SSH into the server, but we cannot have the service of HTTP to the firewall. We haven't given the HTTP service permission to firewall. So let's give the HTTP service permission. Firewall-cmd add service HTTP and type permanent. Okay, permanent, so that it survives the reboot. Okay, permanent. And let's reload the firewall. So firewall-cmd, it's a good practice to reload the firewall. And can we access the page right now? Yes, from inside. But can we access the page from outside? Yes, right now we can access because we have given the firewall permission. Okay, but and this solves one part of the problem, which is we have installed the Apache server, we have created a page inside the /web directory, and we have given necessary permissions. Right now Apache server is serving the page from /web, but the question has another portion, which is we have to set up the port of the Apache server to 888. How do we do that right now? Okay, so right now the port that is being used by Apache is 80. Okay, whoops. So ss to check all the grep 80. So okay, you know what, let's check our configuration file. Okay, so okay, so first try to access the page from 888. It will fail. Okay, so it will fail to because you know we cannot access the server at port 888. Why? Well, because it is not meant to access, because Apache is not serving the the web server from 888 port. So let's change the permission again, /etc/http-conf and vi httpd.conf. So at the Apache configuration file we have to change the port listen. Let's update it to 888. So from default port 80, we're going to serve from port 888. Restart the Apache server. So systemctl restart httpd. Restart failed. Well, because it does not have the proper permission to access port 888. Okay, so it is asking, okay, so just either check the status or you can use the journalctl command to check the logs to give proper necessary permissions. Okay, so here it is saying that permission denied for port. Okay, so the full error message will give the proper error, what is exactly going on. If you just type the journalctl command, then here you'll see that, okay, so fail to start Apache. Why? Because it basically do not have the no listening socket. Okay, so no listening socket available. Okay, so we have to first give the SElinux permission. Okay, so to give the SElinux permission, semanage port AT, and the port name is httpd port T. Probably we can also find it from the port L grep httpd so this is the HTTP port. So this is the list of all port, and from here we have to give the permission to this port, HTTP port T. Okay, so let's add permission, semanage port add T HTTP port, type TCP. Okay, so PTCP 888. So the permission is given. Let's check if so. Here we have added this 888. It was not there before. Okay, right now. So let's try to restart the SElinux, restart the HTTPD server again. So the server started successfully. So can we access the page now? So we can access it at port 888 right now. because we have given the SElinux permission. But can we access from outside? No, we can't. Why? Because firewall is preventing anybody coming from outside to inside with, you know, and hit at port 888. So we have to give permission for firewall as well. So let's give firewall permission. So firewall-cmd list all. So we don't right now have any permission given for ports. So you know, add port, and then the port is 888/TCP permanent. Right now, let's check. Okay, because we have to reload the firewall. So reload. So see, this is why you should reload, because if you are not reloading, then settings will not restart. So we have given the permission for port 888, okay, for TCP. So let's check the server again. Now we can access from outside, so server A to server B page. Okay, so this sums up our solution. So we have given we have installed Apache server, configured our default web directory to /web, created page, and changed our port from 80 to 888. So this is the summary of the solution. Okay, so what we essentially did is we installed the Apache server httpd. The default location is /var/ but we changed it to from here to /web, and the default configuration file is /etc/http/conf httpd.conf. With that, we have changed what for port we have changed listen port, and for directory we have changed the DocumentRoot to directory, but two places. So we have changed the DocumentRoot as well as the root under the braces. Okay, and then we have given the firewall permission. So firewall-cmd add service https for http, so this is not necessary. So http, and don't forget to write permanent, because if you don't write permanent, it will not survive, the setting will not survive a reboot. So after reboot, the permission will get automatically revoked if you do not write permanent at the end or in the middle, doesn't really matter. So firewall-cmd for the port, add port 888/TCP and give permission, okay, for permanently saving. Okay, and we have to give the SElinux permission, SElinux, semanage, fcontext, -a, -t, httpd, syscontent t, and then the permission of the directory. Okay, and then semanage port -a, -t, http port I'm sorry, -p, TCP 888, and then write restorecon -r v/web. So this will be going after this, and then this is how we give the permission for SElinux, and this is how we give the permission for firewall. So this sums up our solution. Okay, so thank you for sticking till this end. Please if you like my content, and please do subscribe, and please do suggest me on which topic I should make more videos of. Thank you for your attention. I really appreciate it. Please try to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I promise you with more informative contents in my channel in future. Thank you so much.